Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Foxy98 here. Welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2020 My Team career mode for you guys today here on the channel. Today we're here for the British Grand Prix in season number 2. And if you guys haven't checked out the last episode, be sure to go and check that one out before you go ahead and check out this one, because it's going to give a hell of a lot of way of what happened in the last episodes. Now, I've given you the time to go and check it out, and that is, of course, that we have signed Lewis Hamilton to join us in Force Korea and propel this team even further forwards. I decided to just take a nice cheeky little gamble and see what Lewis Hamilton's requirements were. We actually fit the requirements that we approached him with, and we ended up signing him. So massive deal, and I'm super happy with it. We're now going to rock on for this British Grand Prix. If you end up enjoying today's video, feel free to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well, as we try and make our way towards 20,000 subscribers. I'm hoping by the end of the year. Going to be a bit of a stretch, that one, but hopefully with your guys' support we can try and get there. Moving on then into the race weekend, Silverstone last season was by far my worst circuit in terms of overall performance. And as we head into this race weekend, actually, I don't show the practice program, so it's not really spoiling it. But in practice, yeah, I was having an absolute nightmare. I could not find a setup that worked with this car. Everything that I tried, whether that's me looking at what other people had run in their career modes or, setup videos, I ended up just going and making my own setup, and even then I wasn't happy. The car was so heavily unbalanced. What I've noticed, actually, when I did the practice programs is last season, obviously, we were just way off the pace, and I was like, I don't really know where my pace has gone. I found out that in the middle sector on this game, the AIs are broken. Last year, that was the part of the circuit where I was the fastest at. This year, it's where I'm the slowest at, and I feel like I'm going at the same pace, if not probably quicker. But yeah, I struggled heavily, and I'm happy. So heading into this race weekend, I'm looking down the line of damage limitation or trying not to lose the rear end of my car, because I think in practice I spun probably more times than Sebastian Vettel in his entire race career, which is a pretty big statement, because I'd have to have at least spun about 100 times for that to happen, and I pretty much did. But heading into this race weekend then, we also have something else brand new rather than new drivers. So as we go through this cutscene, you'll be able to see something a little bit new in just a second, and there it is. Got myself a new livery heading into the rest of the season. And I've decided to switch it up, and there it is on the screen right now. It is, I don't really know the name of the livery, but basically if you have the podium pass and you bought VIP, the tier number 30, the final tier, it's the legendary livery that's there. So I've gone ahead and picked that livery to move forwards with, and pretty much just customized it, added the blue and the red with the black and the white sponsors, obviously. That's kind of the theme that I'm running with now with my car. Initially, I was running blue, red, and white, but the color scheme wasn't working. Pretty much, I just love black on Formula 1 cars, so I decided to implement black, red, and blue, and then have the white bit as my sponsors. It just worked nicer, but in towards qualifying, I mean, here's a true example there of the serious balance issues that I had with my car. Because on that occasion, the rear end wasn't sticking with me, but the front end wasn't, as we had heavy understeer going through and towards Stoke Corner. We set a 23.0, sorry, still a tenth per second shy of Perez, and he's on medium tyres. Yeah, that's not very good. Bottas, though, does set the fastest lap. Well, Leclerc and Bottas both set the fastest lap in Q2, actually. We were only 0.3 of a second shy, which isn't too bad, but then you've got those drivers on the medium compound tyres, and then you think to yourselves, yeah, this isn't going to be very good. In towards Q3 now, once again had understeer going towards Stoke Corner there. Breaking in towards the Vale chicane, not too bad through there. And now going in towards Club Corner. Let's see how we can do. Perez with a 22.4. Yeah, we set 123.1. That's not very good, is it? No, it's actually dreadful. Then in towards our final lap here in Q3, can we try and make any form of inroads on the top lot? This time around the car was sticking through Stowe. Found a better braking point through there, but we're only 0.2 per second up. But in towards the Vale chicane, we actually brake too late for the corner, going deep there. And even though we're half a second up on the Delta, that's going to all tumble down as we get and make an absolute mess of that. And we did set my best lap of the weekend, which is 122.9. Still half a second shy of what the pole lap was. And that dropped us down to P8 for qualifying. Yeah. Further solidifying that we ain't got no pace. 0.6 of a second behind Lewis Hamilton. And reality's hit home after some phenomenal qualifying sessions. Go back to Austria in the previous Grand Prix when I smashed the field by about 0.6 of a second. This time I got smashed by 0.6 of a second. And fair play though, with his debut race for Ford's career, Lewis Hamilton takes pole position for this Grand Prix. So big up Lewis in this one. In terms of my teammate, he did beat me today. In terms of a setup issue, yeah, it was. Like, I just literally did not have anything going for me. So, yeah, that's kind of annoying there. In terms of the qualifying pace, though, yeah, it didn't put me at the front of the grid. Will it be a problem for tomorrow? I mean, I'm just going to say that I'll cut through the traffic like hot knife through butter, even though, you know, your boy is probably not going to get very far. In terms of the home crowd, oh, this is a question. Every time you've got a driver in your team and it's their home race, she just constantly talks about the crowd. I feel like she's become a Lewis Hamilton simulator, and it's annoying. But as you can see, in terms of the rivalry breakdown, still out-qualified Seb Vettel, so yeah, I mean, I beat him in the qualifying attack rivalry. One race remaining, actually, is this one. So we should comfortably thump him in that one. In fact, we only need 2 points to secure that, or even just none, really. I'd still beat him. As you can see there, though, we are now going to go in towards the Grand Prix. Cheeky little yawn as I took a breath in. I don't know what does that. Whenever I'm commentating on these races, sometimes when I take a deep breath in, I just force a yawn, which is very, very cheeky. Lewis Hamilton, though, outqualifies Daniel Ricciardo by 9 1/1000ths of a second, showcasing again Renault's true race pace. Ocon down in P5, myself in P8, still out qualifying Seb Vettel, and then Lance Stroll in P11. Verstappen and Albon still really far down. Verstappen was in P12. Albon, I didn't actually catch where he qualified, unless he took a grid penalty, did he? No, it's only Giovinazzi and Gasly that took those. I don't know where Albon was, but he definitely wasn't in the fray as well. So some bad times coming in for Red Bull. They really need to pick up their pace. Because they're falling very far behind. But into the race then, it's going to be a soft medium one-stop strategy. So I'm just going to give it my best, see what we can do. So let's get straight. Oh, Albon's P10, there we go. But here we go then, 5 red lights for the British Grand Prix, and it's lights out. Here we go then, let's see who can get off the line the best. Then Hamilton gets off the line very nicely, and as he goes in towards the first corner, he's through. We also get a very nice start there, actually. And now we're going to go side by side with Bottas there. Perez and Leclerc fighting each other. We'll dive it down the inside. That's a little bit deep through there, though. But now in towards the second part of the corner, we get in front of Sergio Perez and also Leclerc. Bit of debris coming off one of the end plates there. That's Sergio Perez that took a bit of damage, I think. I could be wrong, though, in all of that. But as we go through now in towards this Grand Prix, we're up into 3rd place now. That's 5 places gained off the start. And we go a little bit wide there through and towards Brooklands. And now in towards Luffield here. And it is Hamilton that's out front. Ricciardo on the medium compound tyres. So he's running the different strategy. So Lewis should be able to pull away. But they already have a comfortable lead over ourselves as we now try and settle ourselves in towards the Grand Prix. And onto lap 2 of the race now. Hamilton is 2.9 seconds clear with Ricciardo 2 seconds clear of myself. Leclerc, though, is all over the back of us here and solidifying that. Oh, that's very close there. Leclerc trying to have a little look in towards Luffield. We cover that one off, though. But again, we just need to try and settle ourselves into this Grand Prix. It's going to be a very tough Grand Prix to try and keep these guys behind. Leclerc with the slipstream now on towards Copse Corner, but we just about stay in front here. And this is where I'm very tentative on the throttle. I had to lift off a little bit through Copse. I can't take it flat out, as unfortunately the car will not stick with me in this stage of the Grand Prix. Now, this section here, Maggots and Beckett, the AIs are literally on absolute crack through here. There's no way I can get through them, but on a straight, I'll blast away from you. So bye-bye, and I'll see you later, Shah. You can try and get through me in towards Stowe Corner, but it's not going to work for you, mate. And now in towards Stowe we go. We managed to defend against him. Lap 3 of the Grand Prix now. DRS has been enabled. Leclerc 0.2 of a second back, and you can see now he's got a very nice run. As you can see, the new car in full there as we go in towards Brooklands now. We go a little bit wide through there. Leclerc tries to sneak it on through there. Leclerc, though, understeers into the side of the car. Contact there between myself and Leclerc. He's all right, though. He's only lost 1 position in there, but a little bit of contact as Leclerc just turned into the car there. I left him the space, actually, because he went for it. But yeah, Leclerc, a little bit of a costly error there, and that loses him some time there. Now Bottas is the next man to challenge me, and again as I go wide through Copse Corner, just not happy with the car at all. But what's also quite fascinating is we've got a yellow flag, first of all. Daniel Ricciardo is not pulling away from us. And then I realised, of course, he's on the medium compound tyres, so I'm struggling to keep up with Daniel. And Verstappen there, out of the British Grand Prix, so that's a big hitter there, as we once again have to lift off quite a lot through Copse Corner. Verstappen there with a mechanical failure going through. Oh, there's a crash there as well, so Verstappen going slowly, and he's just been hunted off the road then. This is on board with the Haas car here of Russell, I believe. And it wasn't actually Russell, it was Giovinazzi in the Alfa Romeo that caused all of the mayhem by going up Verstappen's bum. So that's a little bit cheeky there. And yeah, not the best thing in the world to be doing that as we get a little bit tasty with Valtteri Bottas trying to go for it in towards Cox Corner, trying to catch me out here on lap 9 of the British Grand Prix. Now as we go for it in towards Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel, this is where the AIs are just, like I said, just ridiculously powerful. And also where I was also ridiculously terrible at the same time. But Bottas here gets an absolutely sensational run through towards there, completely catches me napping, and he flies through the DRS then, up into 3rd place now for the Finnish driver. And again, the understeer kicking in. It's the dirty air now. It's going to affect us as we've got Bottas in front. And that was not part of the plan. Valtteri moves into 3rd, though, in this British Grand Prix. I did actually stick with him, though, with the DRS here on this following lap. And yeah, as you can see, I'm even having to drop it into 5th now. And he's only 7/10 in front of me. I know I'm going to get some dirty air from that. Okay. Yeah, that was a little bit concerning. I nearly pooed a bit. In fact, I did poo quite a lot. And yeah, that was very, very close. Here's a fact. When you're running with pit assist, I can just blast it in the pit lane, and then I can just quickly shut my controller down and go on my phone, or, you know, like I said, relax. I forgot that the AI slowed down that much, so I nearly crashed into Bottas, and I had to take evasive action. So yeah, that was a little bit, well, chaotic. Next time, be a bit more wary, because that stuff can happen. Nearly broke my front wings. But nevertheless, we're still out and running. And Jordan King does make it through in front of ourselves, and just about side by side with Bottas here. So this could get a little bit interesting. But eventually, with the DRS here, Bottas is going to go for it now on Jordan King. Down the inside here, he makes move stick, forces King a little bit wide. And with the fresher tyres, I can swoop around the outside of Luffield here, close the inside line off for him, and then move through in towards 15th place now. And still chasing Valtteri down. But of course, Bottas is in front of us and has track position, so it's going to be very, very hard to get back in line with him. But there's a cheeky old man that is in the way, and it's Sergio Perez. Now, Perez here looks to have that front wing damage still in effect, and he is a long way off now. And as we blast on towards the straight here, Bottas now has got the DRS on Perez. We've got the DRS on both of them. We've got much better straight line speeds here. It's going to be 3 wide into Stoke Corner. Bottas on the outside of Perez. We go around down the inside of both Mercedes cars then. And now we're back up into 4th place in the British Grand Prix. Bottas will be thieving in his helmet over that one. His new teammate Sergio Perez doing him no favours at all and allowing us to get on through. But for us now, we're in, well, a bit of a scrap here with Bottas again getting that exit very, very wrong there. Now Bottas has got the slipstream out of DRS here. With this time, we're a bit more prepared though for an attack from Bottas, because I knew that attack wasn't very good. That's a little bit of contact there between ourselves. I actually misunderstood how close Bottas was on the side pod then, but we do defend against Bottas nicely, but we are really pushing hard here against Valtteri. Now in towards lap 17 of the Grand Prix. We've got the ERS enabled here, trying to defend against Bottas. We've got a lot of energy actually at our disposal here. That gap though, 0.4 of a second as we blast it through in towards Cox Corner, going a little bit wide, but then losing the back end of the curb, and that's the front wing gone, but that's actually us out of the race. So despite the front wing damage, that is a DNF from just a simple rear end snap. Yeah, wow. So let's have a look at this again then. So as we blast on through here down the old pit straight, going towards Cox Corner, we just take the line. It's not as if we went heavily offline. We just hit the curb, and the car was having none of it. The rear end was like, no, I won't be having any of that. And yeah, that's it. Race over. What an absolute disaster. Just like in Azerbaijan, really. That time around, that literally caught me completely off guard, because watch that back again. I didn't exactly go very, very wide through there. Oh, look. You know, your boy has DNF from a Grand Prix. Look who won the race, though. Daniel Ricciardo. He literally only needs me to DNF. And whenever I DNF, Ricciardo will win a Grand Prix. But I mean, in fairness to Ricciardo, he did actually do the ultimate strategy to Lewis Hamilton and went onto the soft tyres and held up with him on the mediums. So I think Ricciardo probably deserved it, unlike Azerbaijan. But unfortunately, that was a case of setup issues and just not having a feel for the car. Hamilton, though, does take P2 for the British Grand Prix. He'll still be disappointed with that, though. But Ricciardo does win for a second time now this season. And, I mean, Hamilton is happy there, but really? So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be anyway. But as you can see then, Ricciardo only won by a 1/10 of a second over Lewis Hamilton. That went right down to the wire. Perez finished down in P14 and we DNF'd along with Verstappen. That was just a case of just an awfully poor Grand Prix. I actually overachieved until that point. Bottas really pushed me hard, gapped down to 68 points now to Ricciardo, who is the next man to challenge us in the championship ahead of Lewis Hamilton. The biggest problem with that race was, and I've already said it, the setup just didn't work, and my problem is I wasn't happy with the car through the high-speed corners. Top all that off then with...
good day today. Let's have your take on it.
What was good about that day?
Why do you think
Are you all right? Good day today. What? A very good day is me failing to qualify very high, struggling to fend off Bottas for P3, then pushing really, really hard to defend against him, spinning, losing the back end, smashing into the wall, and that's a good day, is it? You clearly are drunk. Get in the bin. I don't want to see you ever again. Yeah, that was kind of unusual. In terms of the rivalry, though, we actually lost all the points there, but we still beat Vettel because we were comfortably clear. But like I said, you know, the setup just didn't really work this weekend, and the biggest problem, of course, was that when I was in front of Bottas, I was having to push so hard to defend against Valtteri that I was constantly losing the rear end in so many other places. On that occasion, though, it was just a snap that caught me out. And, yeah, annoyingly, we didn't actually achieve the satellite sponsor goal bonus there. And a lot of damage deductions, actually. Surprisingly, look who took most of it again. Yeah, it was me. My bad, guys. 4.41 million, though. It's another DNF, though, for this season. And I think I now need to take a very good look at my setups. Because I clearly... was not happy with the rear end again that caused me to snap. But as you can see, we've got a sponsor here that we can renew, which is Laguna, I think it was though, which was to simply set a fastest lap in a session. But I'm going to change it actually. That one was a little bit impossible. Achieve pole position and then win the Grand Prix. We're not quite there yet. Echo, score 33 Constructors' Championship points during a race weekend is very possible. As we've got the fastest car and also the quickest driver on the grid. Achieve a top 4 finish as well is something that we can definitely do. So there's a lot of goals out there, and I was looking for ones with a high payout, basically. Neon, qualify in P4 or better. That's something that we can definitely do. So I was sort of just having a nice little scroll around. I could easily just renew my contract, but I decided this one here... Xeon Dynamics or whatever it is. Or this one, Zanatre, which is achieve at least one podium within the team. So that's a goal bonus of 600,000 and a weekly income of 300,000. And that's just within the team. So if I don't get a podium, I mean, Hamilton got a podium in that race. That's contract done. But there we go. Then we're going to put that onto the car. And you guys can have a little look more at the livery. But if you guys did enjoy today's video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. Hopefully this next time around at the Hungarian Grand Prix, we can get ourselves back on track again and avoid inconsistent results. But for now, guys, I'm out. Take care all. Peace.